Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to do a short video for Module 6, talking a little bit about service line break-even analysis. I've had a couple questions from folks about the assignment, so I thought this would be a good topic for a short video this week, since we're not meeting live again until next week. So the first thing, you can read in the actual detail that we have in the classroom. We have some detail up here about this night home and community-based services, looking to expand, get more folks involved in the services that they have, and they want to have folks come in, have healthy seniors from the community be able to come in, take part in activities and get a healthy lunch and have breakfast and have an internet cafe and whatnot. And obviously the hope for this type of services that they become enamored with the organization, and then at a point in the future when perhaps they do need home care services or other types of services in the medical side that this organization provides, that they will then take part in those with that organization. So what the CEO is asking is for us to look at the data and determine if it makes sense. So as it talks about here in this section, CEO has commissioned a needs assessment. The study found that there are about 120 seniors in the community that have interest, and that population is growing about 10% each year. As we know, the baby boom generation is getting older. Pretty soon Gen Xers like me are going to be part of that are going to be needing these types of services. So it's just growing and growing. Also, what's mentioned here is that cost growth is going to be occurring about 5% each year, which makes sense based on general inflation numbers. So what the CEO wants is, if the organization can recoup its investment quickly, they are interested in pursuing this type of a situation. So generally, we are looking to, and I'm going down here to the bottom, to perform a break-even analysis to determine how many seniors would need to have the membership and pay for breakfast and lunch in order to cover their expenses. So we have our expected monthly revenue, which is the membership fee. We have our fixed costs that don't change. We have our variable costs that do change based on the number of members. And so we want to do an analysis. Now, so I'm going to pull up my textbook here. And if we look here in the table of contents, if we can get there, over here in, that's the brief one, sorry, we want the more detailed one. If we go over here to Chapter 5, we see here starting on page 180, the break-even analysis. So this is what we want to take a look at. It won't let me go right there, so I've got to meander down here to it. But as we get down here, this whole section really spells out exactly what you need to be doing. So it's basically this. This is our initial formula for taking a look at break even. So total revenue, we have the monthly revenue number that we would multiply by the volume. Total variable costs, we have those variable costs, again, multiplied by the volume. We have those fixed costs per month, so we would take that. And then in this case, and as you read down through here, it talks about different types of break-even, accounting break-even, economic break-even. We're looking at economic break-even because pretty much what we want to know is how many people do we need to break even. So that would mean that our profit would be, we would be listing our profit as 0 in order to take a look at the overall equation to figure out how many folks we need. But the other thing that we need to do in this case, and let's go back to our break-even analysis page. The other thing we need to do is take a look at this over time. So we know that we're going to have, there's approximately 120 seniors now. That's supposed to grow 10% each year. So then next year we would have 132 seniors. Then the year after that we'd have, et cetera, et cetera. So we know there are going to be more seniors available to participate. We also know that cost is going up 5% each year. So these costs are all going to increase. And do we increase the monthly fee, or do we maintain that monthly fee? So these are the kinds of things that you want to look at in your analysis to make a determination if we in fact have enough seniors in our community to want to participate in this, that we can make up our cost. So that's basically where it's at. Obviously, the ultimate is to make revenue on, to have actual net revenue on it. But we would, for purposes of the analysis, break even is fine. Or that's what we're looking at. Ultimately, because we're talking about people, when you come down to 63.25 people, you're going to have to round that up to 64 because we can't have a quarter of a person. So ultimately you're likely to have some profit overall that you would be seeing when you do your calculations, just because we always have to round up to get to a whole person. So that would be the basic break-even amount. Now you could, and this is up to you. This is, there's no, there are right and wrong answers with regard to the formulas, but there's no right or wrong answer for exactly what you want to put in your discussion. I mean, you could even discuss, okay, if we wanted to make $1,000 on this, if we wanted to make $5,000, $10,000, here's how many seniors we would need. And make that money in profit. So in net revenue, how that would work out. So hopefully that makes sense. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise this week, let's hop back over in here. This week we have our discussion. I don't even remember what the discussion is about. Oh, the effective approaches to budgeting. There's, obviously there's tons of different ways to approach budgeting, and healthcare being such a complex system, there's a million different ways, and actually different organizations will probably choose different methods. It's interesting here. I'm at my new job right now, actually, and here budgeting is very simple. The university I came from previously, not simple at all. So it's interesting how the different approaches that even non-healthcare businesses take, obviously very different based on the organization. And in healthcare, you can have super complex cost accounting situations that kind of filter down to the departments, and in other places, departments keep things very simple, and then it rolls up into a more complex budget at the top. So talk about that and the different approaches to budgeting, et cetera, that we'll see. Next week, obviously, we have some budget analysis information that we'll be looking at, talking about compliance, financial compliance, fraud and abuse, those types of things. Just forecasting out a little bit. Modules 8 and 9, which are the week before spring break and the week after spring break, are working on your HFMA CRCR course. And then the modules 10 and 11 are working on the HFMA CHFP course. So lots of additional time to work both on these courses, but we do have a fraud and abuse assignment that's due in module 8. But as we proceed through to the final, as we're getting all the way down toward the final weeks, we do have the this discussion here, which is the financial analysis in week 13. And I think I mentioned this in the live class, so if you watched that video, you saw it. But in week 13, you're going to be posting a draft. So let's go back out. What was the date on that? So the date on that is April 17th. So just think about that as we proceed toward the spring break time and these 4 weeks that are spent with the HFMA work. You might be able to, and the point of that is to give you some time to work on your draft, and then ultimately your final submission of your project, which is due on April 24th. So that's that. Hopefully that was helpful with regard to the service line break-even analysis. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, send an email, text, call, and I'm happy to help you. Thanks so much.